Carpool Crud. You little bumper club.
Yeah. Carpool Crud. We're in the seats. We're chilling. We're driving through Highbury right now, I believe. And we got the big man, Mr. Vujanic, in the seat.
Oh shit.
Finally.
How are you, my brother?
No one
I'm
clapping?
okay,
Or
man.
is that just me?
Listen,
Alright,
you
yeah.
can listen. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, did you clap yourself?
Yeah, man, fuck it.
Bad man. You know at award shows when someone mentions your name and then you're like, what do I do? Someone sings you happy birthday.
It's very awkward just smiling.
No, when someone says happy birthday, you're like, oh yeah, happy birthday to you too. And it's
You know what? I do. Self-love's important. I like all my photos on Instagram as well.
Bad man.
And I like my own tweets.
Yes.
Fuck it.
I was wondering. I was like, the numbers are normally one higher than usual. So that's you. So that's you liking them. That makes
is
a
me
bit more
liking my
sense.
own shit.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, man. It's been a mad year. What are we now? We're nearly in December. Very mad year. Very up and down.
Talk to us about the downs before we get onto all the ups.
Downs, fuck, man. A lot of anxiety and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of like battling myself.
And I think that's something that's quite symptomatic within those. Weird. We were just having this conversation about creative industry, where there's this whether you want it or not, it's this involuntary pressure on yourself to be accepted and be successful, whatever that is.
Yep.
So when something doesn't go quite successful, you're looking at someone on the timeline going, that's going
this
well.
thing, right? Well, like recently I unfollowed everyone, right? And it was so weird because I mean I've been very prominent on social media for the past 6 years, kind of built myself on social media, as many people have. But for me, I guess I overly attach myself to it because it was really my when I'm passionate about something, my opinion is on there, you know, from politics, social issues, etc. And then it's like I feel you get too caught up in it, and then like I realized when I unfollowed everyone, it felt weird. Like I'd be on my phone, and naturally, because I'm so used to being on social media, I was clicking on my home, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
And I'd have to kind of do something.
Yeah.
It was weird. And it's recently I've been starting to follow people again, and then I go on my timeline now, and I don't really like it. I feel it's too distracting.
Yeah.
Like I'm on it, and there's so much, and I start seeing how much it not impacts me, but there's too much.
Yeah.
Like it's too much information.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm not really enjoying it.
Yeah.
So now I'm like naturally on it a bit less.
Yeah.
But like I enjoy it a bit less. So now it's like, okay, like live life or do some, you know.
I notice you come on and have a bit of chat with everyone that's interacting with you, and then you kind of lock off.
Yeah, that's
So
kind of.
You come for a little chat, and
Yeah.
then you go away, and
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's kind of like, well, what would you guys say? It's like voluntary spam. So whereas before you'd go on a train and you couldn't avoid an advert or info, but now you're just staring at the screen and you can't avoid info.
I think it's about, for me anyway, it was about becoming aware of how much I can't say that I'm not influenced. I think people would put this facade on a lot of the time of, no man, I've got this and blah, 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 blah. But I don't think a lot of us do. And that's just coming from my perspective. I can't apply it to everyone, but that's kind of been my thoughts, and I'm very introspective at times, so overly analytical, and always trying to kind of be in a better place, not putting too much pressure on myself. I do a lot of that as well. Perfectionism was one of my things, bro.
100%.
I've been trying to drop that because I overly, when I started doing my videos, I remember I had this phase where I really wanted everything to be high quality, every shot had to be perfect, etc, etc. And then I started not enjoying it, man.
Yeah.
I dropped like Cheeky Nando's and all the videos, and they were amazing, done really well, but I didn't enjoy the end product. Like I didn't appreciate it because I'd be like, nah, but that one shot at 3:16 should have been this, and I'm like, you know, you kind of don't enjoy the process.
I think we can all relate to that. Even when we're coming up with content, there's always everything within balance. Everything within balance, because I think you're never actually fully going to be satisfied. I know a lot of people that are like, you know, even famous music video directors, and they're like, yeah, well, it was all right. Wasn't really satisfied with it, but you know what I want to speak about? Talk to us about like Vuj in his early life, because I kind of feel like everyone's only known you since, I don't know, you were a teenager going on to an adult. Talk to us about Vuj from the beginning. Where did you grow up? What was happening in life?
So obviously war in Yugoslavia. I was born in Croatia 1992, so that's 91 to 95 is the Yugoslav war. So I was born during the war in Yugoslavia. So it was a town called Knin, which was predominantly Serbian ethnically. And then, yeah, man, that war was very, very messy. Obviously, the most recent European, obviously since the Ukraine crisis, it was the most violent and bloody war since World War II. Yeah. So it's a weird one when you come from a war zone, like literally born with gunshots around you. Like my dad, what do you call it? He fired whatever. Gun into the air when I was born. Yeah. So you're born in that environment, which is strange. Like when you actually, actually held a bazooka at 3. Wow. Which is weird to me. Like I have a photo of me kind of holding a. Yeah. I remember. I don't know where that photo is now, but I did actually hold one. So you're looking at this thing which is really destructive and a collective madness, obviously. Yeah. But so strange one. But anyway, I had to leave that town because there was like. Operation, an offensive, and then a lot of Serbian people left that town and moved to other places. So I went to Serbia, I went to Belgrade, and I was there for 2 years. And then
what was life like
when you went to Belgrade? Sorry?
I was 3 years old. Yeah. So I remember like little bits from that period, not much, but I do remember like when there was like a shelling of the town, and then I remember like being in this kind of, what do you call it when you go underground? Like shelter?
Yeah, the bomb shelters.
And I remember like some guy driving us through the woods because we had to like leave that town. Because in one day 200,000 people left. Yeah. So I was part of that colony of 200,000.
That's a pretty surreal thing to hear from someone that's your age, because you normally associate growing up in a war zone with either people on the other side of the world or people that are 30, 40, 50 years older than you and stuff like that. And do you feel, so has that made life in England easier? Has it made it harder, or how's
I don't know, I mean, I guess I had to go through that. Yeah. I just, I didn't choose to be born there, and has it made it easier or harder? I think it's given me a different outlook on life. Yeah. So when there's a lot of things happening that maybe affect others' mentality, I'm not as taken back by it. But it's definitely influenced my life and how I view things. Yeah. I don't often think about all of that happened. But then recently I was with my grandma, and she told me like a shell exploded 10 meters from our house. And I was like, fuck, I didn't know that. So you're like, fuck, that's close. Yeah. I was in that kind of yeah, it is. And that kind of made me cry and tear up this summer when I spoke to her about that. And you see how many people were affected. And there's a lot of divisions ethnically, like, depending on what side you were on. Yeah. But to me, as I've grown up, and luckily I've grown up in London, which is a very diverse and multicultural place, it's allowed me to see and experience the world in a different way, luckily, and kind of notice that we're all the same. You know, when you've grown up in a very, I'd say, divisive environment, and then you come into this world. I'm lucky that I managed to leave that place and come to a place where I can really view the world from a different angle. Yeah. And you notice the different perspectives. So I was lucky.
What I find interesting about that is when I asked you that question, I expected, not that all of it was negative, whatever, but I expected a bit more of I've got some good memories, because when I hear you talk about where you're from, or your culture, the Balkan culture, the people, I feel like you're an advocate for don't believe the hype of like Twitter or one post that says it's a, so so even having had all those experiences, you're still very much in touch with who you are and your culture and where you're from.
I mean, I'm patriotic in terms of, I do love where I'm from.
Red Star Ultras.
Red Star Belgrade. Partizan as well. Like it's a weird one. I support both teams, which to many is strange. It's like supporting United and City. Like I support Partizan and Red Star because I'm just for the bettering of that region as a whole. Yeah. And because I don't have a lot of touch here with Serbian culture, any opportunity to kind of speak about it in a positive light, I try to. I mean, I love it, man, and I love, you know, I went back to Croatia. I loved Croatia, and I met some amazing Croatian people.
Did you visit the place where you were born and stuff?
Yeah, I've been back once. It's weird, man. It's weird. I think I'm lucky that I grew up. I was there only for a little bit, because I can see how it's affected others that were older and maybe took part in the war on a physical level. They're very affected, and you know, people from war zones have a tough time mentally and emotionally and adapting to different cultures. I think that's what a lot of the older generation have an issue with. Yeah. Which is sometimes tough to see and be around.
Do you see yourself as a youth political figure?
No, not really. But it's a weird one as well with that. I don't really see myself as anything in terms of a definition. I think maybe during the summer, because of the Corbyn election and interviewing him and really being an advocate for him kind of getting a bigger percentage of the vote. I was there, man, and I was fully engrossed, and because I believed in it. And there's not a lot of things.
Do you still believe in him now?
Yeah, I do. I believe in him. You know, if he will get into power eventually. I do see that happening. Yeah. And then he's going to have to prove us right. You know, that's going to be the tough part. Is when he comes in, he's still got to fight this system that we're in, and that's not easy. Because
you know, before he's even done or said anything, it's more of an uphill battle. It's more of a, you know, the rest. We
should like drive to Central or some shit. We don't want to get a congestion charge, innit?
No, it's Sunday.
Sunday, man.
We should just drive, man.
Now the mad thing is, we can. Oh, I'm driving past the Arsenal, by the way. Fucking Tottenham. Fucking hate Tottenham.
Well done, you want to
anyway, yeah. So then, the first thing I came across where I thought, oh, okay, Vuj is engaging with the youth here. Like, was a discussion you had with Katie Hopkins. It was live on and it was more of a, obviously on social media it gathered pace because it was like, oh, Katie Hopkins got dissed, but throughout, if you clear out the smoke, what you were saying was very important. What you were actually putting her in a place for being vindictive, spiteful, and divisive. So, like, how did that scenario come about? Because that was the first time I thought, okay.
There's a company, kind of a group called Bite the Ballot.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mike Sani, and he runs it and he tries to increase youth participation in politics, and he does like drives to register to vote. And there was a live kind of Facebook thing happening, the discussion about Brexit, and I heard Katie was on it. I could not wait to go, and I was like, yes, it's going to be fucking amazing. So I went to that, and I really wanted to interact with her, and there was a lot of people there, so it wasn't a kind of one-to-one, but we managed to have those little few moments between me and her.
She clocked as well. She clocked that, okay,
I was there.
This is going to be like, he's here for this.
It gave me this insight, right, of how these people function. And she did get me worked up, right? And I don't get easily worked up. So for someone to have that power over my emotion and feeling, that means something within me has been triggered. So they know your trigger points. So then I started wondering, is that the best way to approach it? Is the best way to approach it to counteract it with aggression? Which I nearly did, like I did a little bit, but I withheld it. And then afterwards, off camera, she's wonderful. And I actually have a positive experience of Katie Hopkins.
I didn't think you'd say that.
No, I know, a lot of people don't, but off camera we were like really friendly with each other, and she gave me her email, and I was like, I would love to talk to you on a kind of different basis, and she seemed up for it. And that to me was quite powerful, because it kind of shows how we as people have these beliefs and ideas, and when they're so strong, people can go for that, and then they get you aggressive. And that means, in my opinion, that means I'm as bad as her. Because she's got me in a place where she wants me. So I think there lies the kind of answer, in a way, of our problems as society, is that we're divided by people like that. And I think she has mental problems. So if a crackhead came up to you on the street and was like, "Oh, fucking scumbag," you'd kind of, you'd go, all right, mate, and you'd keep it walking. But because she has a platform that we give validity to,
and she articulates it,
in different, and she reaches people, we give her opinions, I think, a validity. And obviously she does influence people, but those other people that are influenced by those such opinions, if you look into them, they're mainly from working class, impoverished backgrounds that also are not taken care of by the state, etc., that are marginalized. So the white, racist working class man is closer to the immigrant, the black guy, the Asian guy, than her.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having to step back from all that and analyze it from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And that for me it gave me a really different understanding of everything that's going on. So I was very grateful for that experience where I did get angry, and I noticed myself getting angry, and I don't think that's the way. Because if I started shouting back at her my points, I don't think she will care. That means to her, she's just going to regurgitate her points, and then we never move anywhere.
Yeah.
That for me reminds me of this book I'm reading at the minute called The Chimp Paradox. Have you read it?
No, I've heard a lot about it.
Essentially, it's about if someone is making you angry or is making you feel a type of way, that could be seen to be their ego, which is an extension of themselves. It's not actually them. So the chimp paradox is about a chimp in a cage rattling the cage. And if someone's rattling their cage at you, you either decide whether you want to rattle your cage back. Because if someone's angry at you, your natural reaction is to defend yourself and get angry back. Or you can neutralize the situation. So instead of like rattling your cage back, which isn't actually going to solve anything, you can step away for a second and be like, okay, why are you angry? Tell me logistically what I've done to make you. I do it with my girlfriend all the time, bro. This you
use the book against her.
So I'm like, babe, see this book, yeah? Read this and then
don't chat to man.
So yeah, I think you definitely did the right thing. But let's talk about the good shit that's happened this year.
A lot of good shit, bro. A lot of good shit.
I feel like again, you've leveled up, whether that's on your own projects or stuff you do with Poe. So just reel off a few highlights of shit you've done this year that you're one really proud of, and two, you're pinching yourself because of how sick that opportunity is.
This is going to be good.
No, the main one for me was the Corbyn interview for me.
Yeah.
Because I kind of made that a goal of mine in 2016. I remember like December, November, speaking to his son. I played football with him randomly.
As you do, yeah.
And I spoke to him, and then I kind of said to him, like, yo, you need to engage young people from a kind of urban background, ethnic minorities. You need to engage in that. That's where the power lies, of the numbers, and then people engaging in politics. And then slowly it started happening kind of without my input, but I saw it happening on the ground with the JME interviews, and then with AJ and AJ Tracy and what's his name, Big Zoo. And then eventually I managed to kind of get him for an interview as well through his PR. And
right, so you arranged that yourself on behalf of?
I went kind of and contacted them and managed to arrange that. He had a football policy about increasing fans' rights in football. So I was very happy to sit down with him, and once again gave me an amazing insight into the world of a major politician and how he sees the world. And it was powerful for me as on a personal level, especially as someone who came here as an asylum seeker, to be sitting pretty much with the next Prime Minister. Was a full circle kind of. I studied international relations, and I wanted to drop out many times of university, but also kind of everything coming full circle and sitting with him, the man I really wanted to speak to, was powerful. So that was my main kind of I'd say success externally. But there was a lot of great interviews, man. I sat down, from Lampard to Pogba and Lingard in LA, to now being in Russia and speaking to Del Piero, Pusha T, Zidane, Podolski. When you're kind of listing them off, and you, in a way, bro, you get kind of, in a way, and I say complacent, you maybe ungrateful, that you forget that you're doing all these things, and it becomes too, I don't know, because it's happening again. In a way, it becomes too comfortable, and then you get, I get caught up in my head sometimes, and then I forget that I'm actually doing some really cool things.
You have to reset yourself.
You have to, bro. I think that's where I'm at now. Anyway, is a place of kind of resetting myself and reminding myself of just.
It was really interesting when I went to the Adidas Xavi Alonso event. Like, I remember staring, and I was finding it hard to follow the interview because I was staring at Vuj, and I was like, Vuj and Poe, I was like, dude, I wonder what they're thinking right now, because they're staring at Xavi Alonso.
Yeah, it was wicked as well,
at this Adidas event. I was like, I wonder what goes through your head when this is work.
Yeah, no, it's amazing, and it's not even really work. That's the beauty of it, is, I guess.
What you enjoy, man.
Yeah, and sometimes you have to pinch yourself in terms of, oh fuck, like, oh my god, I'm still doing what I love. And I think that's where at times the conflicting mind state comes in. Yeah.
It's different because you're around all these stars. You're not like, I have to be a bit more professional.
Yeah.
You're just being yourselves, man.
I think that's the trick. I think that's what worked with Genie Wijnaldum when he saw your socks. they weren't matching. I think he thought, this is not a press interview. This is not a guy. So
when
Jeff
you start
Shreve's
playing
interviewing
Big
me for
Shaq,
BBC. You know,
No, it's just organic, man.
yeah.
That's the kind of key word me and Poet. I've always kind of have championed for myself is the matter of being organic.
Free range.
And at times that can be a bit stifling if you overthink stuff. You know, what is organic?
Am I being organic enough?
And you overthink it. But that's just kind of at times how my brain is, and I need to work on that as a human. But in general, I say I do a good job, and especially, you know, with Poet when we do the interviews and we do with the football, it's a
Well, why are you horning me?
we do a good job with that, man.
Yeah. We always get run up on during the shows, like by people just on road rage.
No, it's always grannies, bro.
Right then, guys, it's that time again.
It's
Ultimate
that
car snack.
We're here.
gang.
We get together with our special guest, and we tell them, "Yo, you're going on an hour-long journey, so do your thing and get some snacks."
Yep.
Yeah.
So explain.
Vuj, what we got?
Well, basically, the first thing I spotted was beef jerky, and even though I have been trying to healthy it up a little bit and know the detriment of eating meat with the vegan movement growing very, very strong, I have a lot of Serbian still in me, and we eat a lot of meat. So I think, and I'm going for like the kind of tangy protein vibes.
Honey barbecue.
Honey barbecue. So you got to, because I don't like too much sweet, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
And then you can wash that down with a bit of sparkling. I know Skepta said that's for skets, but fuck it, I guess I'm a sket. And then what I like is that there was a free coffee pit person outside where we were going to the shop, and so I got like a coconut latte because I love coffee.
Quaker Street Coffee.
Quaker Street, shout out Quaker Street Coffee. Do check them out. I love coffee, so that's my biggest snack.
Cheers.
Coffee and a few. Then I go into the sweet because I can't eat sweet stuff by itself really. I only do like a little bit because I find the sugar overpowering. So
I can't relate.
because I've got the coffee there, I basically have maybe one
To dunk.
or two of these to dunk in, and then to
You dunk, yeah?
dunk a little bit.
Live.
and then
I like
wash
dunking.
down.
One guy tried to pull up on me, but how can you do that?
Obviously,
Like, well,
Uncles are cool people, man.
The best biscuit / I don't know, cake around is Jaffa Cakes. I think in the world, iconic.
Yeah.
This is for the energy.
is that the number one in the world? Like,
No, for me, I'd say it's just Jaffa Cakes are global.
Goes with anything.
I love Jaffa Cakes, so I have a couple Jaffa Cakes. But I wouldn't eat a lot of that, and then because I'm missing the savoury for the kettle chips, man, sea salt, balsamic vinegar.
this
Other brands are available.
This is an esteemed, well palated snack.
I'm a food guy. Like I love food, and I love my taste is quite, I'd say, not unique, but I know what I want. I know what I like.
Yeah.
So I have a bit of that. I actually went a bit crazy. But it's like a
You
shopping
did well.
spree.
You did well. What else did you
And
do?
I'm hoping I'd have a bit of my coffee left.
Yeah.
I'd have maybe a 7 days
Is that to dip in the
croissant.
coffee?
For a guy that said they don't like sweet,
I
you
overdone
pretty
it.
much lengthed it down.
I lengthed it down too much, fam. This is actually too.
Vuj was like, I was actually going to do my weekly shop on the
You know,
way home, so
this is kind of to take home.
He's got another
Yeah.
bag in the back
I'm
with toilet
taking-
roll, fucking dishwasher tablet.
I'm taking this home, and I've actually even, fam. I'm a dickhead, man, and I got
Oh,
white
yeah.
and I got white chocolate.
He's like, yo, these guys brought me out my house on a Sunday. I'm going.
I'm going ham. This is a £5 munch. I'm voting for £20 munch. I feel like when you're in
the beef jerky. I want to cheers the beef. Yeah.
when you're in East London, I feel, you know what? Sometimes I look at myself and I'm like, have I turned into one of these hipsters?
Are you assured it?
I have in it a little bit. Like I've become slightly bougie with my food. A little bit.
No. A Shoreditch Don would get like chocolate made with agave syrup
Yeah.
and Indian spices.
Yeah.
That's
But
a.
you also
Sometimes-
bought a bottle of Bel Air as well.
Is that Jayash's car snack?
Shall I pop it? Yeah. Shall I pop it?
Bang
Yeah.
him.
I'm gonna pop it. Everyone be careful.
You know, me and Vuj are just kind of sitting there sipping our coffee and.
It's not really a drinker myself. Yeah, that's pouring down your leg, fam.
Wow, there's nothing I can do.
I'm pretty sure man said he was a bartender and he's popped bottles before.
Yeah. Oh no, it could have been a lot worse, boys.
He said he feel like 9s. Fam, you're not even 8. You are not even 8, B.
Bro, this is good.
What was the inspiration behind the bottle?
Champagne.
This
You're
is,
here.
you know, they just do these
You're
things.
here, bro.
Appreciate that.
We're
We
toasting.
had an
to you.
Alizé for Poet, and now we've got Bel Air for Vuj.
Yeah.
We're not insinuating anything to Poet, by the way. You know
I'll
what I'm
stick to
saying?
my coffee.
No, everyone likes
Alice.
their own different flavours.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, do you know what? Personally, I would say I still think Morgan Keys' car snack is the best in terms
Really?
of.
What did you go for?
But he got a beer, he got a Lucozade, he got Maltesers, he got Scampi flavored crisps and something else. Like, it was just very balanced.
It was a hot day. So
But in terms of shutting down the store, I feel like you've done that.
Yes.
That's a strong car snack.
That's a bit too much, I reckon, for an hour.
Well, you know, so you can speak for yourself, innit? You know, no.
I just kind of like take some home after, give it to my sister, my mum.
Yeah.
You really economically thought about this. You're like, how many meals can I make out of this car snack journey?
I do have a lot of beer.
I'm gonna cook this Jaffa cake in the sparkling water.
I do think in foresight a lot. Those are my snacks for the week. I don't really snack a lot. Normally it's a bit of Turkish coffee in the morning for me. And I have like a little biscuit, a little dark chocolate. Because I really don't like when I overly indulge in sweets, I really feel it. Like my body, I can actually feel it physically, the effect of it, and it's the bar. It's a bit sickly. Kind of prefer savoury food.
Yeah, you see, I'm not really food
Dan just
prejudiced.
loves food.
Yeah, I kind of
Sweet,
don't prejudice
savoury,
against sweet, savoury, anything.
Anything goes in there.
But no, good, strong car snack.
Yeah.
You know what? I do like being. This is what I'm saying. Snacks is a bit of a funny one because I do like eating healthy. So you've just taken me for the snack shop, and I'm like, fuck it. But if there was sushi there, I probably would have gotten sushi.
For a car snack, that's mad.
You know, but there wasn't. We were in a local shop. So.
Dude, you're from the future, really. Because there's going to be petrol pumps that sell sushi for snacks now.
So the reason are probably like Japan.
Yeah.
And
That's true.
I don't know. I guess if it's like
Because in Japan, sushi's like
staple food.
baked beans for here.
Exactly. So yeah, I'll grab that, man. You know what? I like going back home and having the food, man. Because I've travelled quite a bit this year and in general, which is another amazing thing, I guess, of what I do is we get to travel a lot.
Yeah.
Food in England is shocking.
Yeah.
Like the food here is shocking.
I feel like traditional British cookery
Shocking.
is good, but the main part of why eating in England is so good is the amount of multicultural options we have.
Yeah, we have, but even I thought maybe because of the ingredients you have to use in this country, but I don't feel full a lot of the time when I eat here. Like Waggers isn't really that great.
Swagger mamas now.
Katsu curry's banging.
But it isn't, once you've had it once, I don't know, I'm kind of off the food here.
You should have seen me the first time I had it. I got so gassed, and then the next time I went, I'm like, I got so gassed I called it Swagger mamas. You know? So.
But swag used to be negative thing back in the day.
That's swag. That's swag. Yeah.
Like, you're swag, fam. He's swag. Hey, swag used to be so negative, and now it's been turned to a positive. I miss the days, man. I love slang. I love UK slang. I love it's always weird when you're with Mandem and stuff, when you're with your boys, you speak in a certain way.
Yeah.
And then when you have to kind of acclimatise to different cultures, and sometimes it's the kind of environment, professional environment, and naturally, because I went to uni and
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I went to a more
well,
middle class sixth form.
Yeah.
My high school was one of the first academies ever built. The first academy ever built in the UK. So that means it was pretty dire. But obviously that was me, man. That part of me. And then I went to like a middle class high school, sixth form, and uni, and you meet all these people from kind of Britain and middle class people, and you start speaking their language.
Yeah.
You know, you kind of adapt to them.
I went on Radar for an interview, and Sanusi was like, "We're here with Daniel Khan," and the first thing I said was, "Hi there." And she went raw. I was like, my bad. That was the first thing I said all day. I wasn't really ready. Yeah.
I remember because I did still speak slang and wear Visus and Jordans and tracksuits when I went to that school. A lot. Yeah, you get not down upon, 29? But he's one of those kind of.
Lot 29 is the greasiest shit.
Kind of
I had an open shirt, Velcro buttoned Lot 29 with all the characters on the back. No one
fake
fucked with me.
Visus from Wembley Market.
Mine was. I don't even know if you could get legit Lot 29. All of it was just fake, wasn't it? All of it was fake.
Fake ass brand.
On the hood, shiny.
Should we?
Shout out Wembley Market, man.
Ultimate car snacks with Vujanic. Boom. So on your highlights of Copa 90, like, I really want to get into like how Copa 90 came about, because when I first came across Copa 90 and I'm watching it to see what it's become now, it's pretty much the global platform for fan interaction in football.
Documentary.
It's just unbelievable. So how did that come about for you?
I was first year of uni, and you know how that is, man. You're just like questioning everything. And then, what's his name? Poet called me and he said, oh, there's an audition for this football channel. Google are doing an initiative where they put in basically $1 million behind 100 channels because they were trying to like grow topical-based channels across the globe, and only 2 survived after a year, and that was Copa 90 and Jamie Oliver.
Wow.
And yeah, we had this show, comments below, and they said, do you want to audition, go for it? Poet was like, it might be paid. I was like, oh my god, that would be crazy. Paid to talk about football, what?
Yeah.
And we got it, man, over some guys that did like a podcast or something, some good podcast guys back in the day. And then, yeah, we got the show, and then we kind of managed to just stay on. Like
what was the audition process like when you turned up?
Just cameras, gave us an iPad and said, here's some topics about football, talk. They were like, okay.
Yeah, and obviously you and Poet are good friends at this time.
Not really.
No?
No, I kind of knew him through videos and online and social.
He mentioned that in his interview, didn't he? He actually did say that. I just called this guy, yeah.
We met like a couple times, but he was like, yeah, I noticed, you know, you tweet about football a lot, They said I need another co-presenter. Would you do it? I was like, yeah, man, fuck yes. Poet is the bring-in king, man. He brings in so many people.
You get that from talking to him. I feel like that without people knowing it, he's been so influential and non-hesitant in bringing people in.
Yeah.
And I feel like people that associate with him, they learn a lot from him. Actually, I feel like he has that sort of.
It's very sharing of
he does.
like the opportunities.
He does, man. He really does. When he sees that someone could do something, maybe not him but someone else, he always puts in other people's names and puts them on. So that was wicked, man. I managed to get it.
So how was it announced that you got it?
They just called us, texted us, and were like, yeah, you know, you boys want to start next Monday? We were like, yeah, of course.
And what uni were you at?
Essex.
Okay, so you were down south. You were based in
east-ish, so it's like Essex.
Yeah. No, as in like south of the country, as in it wasn't like you were in uni in Glasgow and you were like, right, okay, how do I make this happen now?
I was gonna go Lancaster, but I said no. Lancaster was a much better uni, top 10.
What were you gonna study at Lancaster?
International relations.
Okay.
I did it at Essex instead. I was like, fuck it.
Yeah, the birds.
I took a year. No,
I'm joking.
But I took a year out before I went to uni because I missed out on Birmingham. I only put Birmingham on my.
My missus went to Birmingham.
Yeah, I put it on my UCAS only Birmingham, and I turned down all the other ones.
Really?
Yeah, and I would have gotten into the other ones because it was BBB, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna get ABB.
Okay.
Didn't get in by a mark. But then I took a year out.
Yeah.
And I started making videos. So.
Talking of making videos,
meant to
right?
be.
The very first instance that I saw yourself was in the DeBange video, Oliver Twist.
Yes.
First question really is, Kanye's in that video.
Yeah, it's mad.
Did you meet Kanye on that day?
Yeah, I saw him on the shoot.
You saw it?
You saw him on the shoot?
Nah, he just kind of done his thing. He came in, showed face.
There's a little cameo, wasn't it? Right,
yeah, cameos. Him. Mad. Pusha T was there. I should have told Pusha about that. That's so mad. Yeah, Pusha T was on the DeBange Oliver Twist shoot because he's obviously.
What the fuck were you doing in the DeBange video? Pusha T and Kanye were there.
Dancing, fam.
Raw.
Have you not seen the video, Dan?
Bro,
Oliver Twist?
No, I've seen the Oliver Twist video. Are you doing it in like central London or something?
No, I did it. I did the Azonto.
Yeah, okay, sorry, I'm just being a dickhead here. Wait, what the fuck were you? So, how did that happen?
How did the call
we
up
need
for
Pusha
that
T, we need Kanye, and we need
Because
Vuj.
they're good music. The band was good music.
Right. Oh, yeah. So, are you part of good music?
Nah.
No. Okay.
I wish. They just needed.
Imagine that was an exclusive drop for man is in good music. Have a good music. That's
Have a good. Nah, it was mad fun.
Yeah.
It was sick.
Because how old were you when you did that?
19.
Crazy.
Did you have the? Do I remember? Did you have the quiff?
Then
in that
I
video,
can't
you wearing
remember
like
what
a hat, like a Oliver Twist
they
hat.
dressed me up as like Oliver Twist. It was mad.
Did you get paid for that?
Yeah, like £200.
Listen, fam, that's £200 to just have a little vibe.
150, 200.
Go shubs.
It was mad, man. That video was everywhere. That video was on like TV, everything. Everybody kind of knew me as. It was so weird, man. Shit I've done. It went from like people calling me Bricka to calling me White Boy Azonto.
Yeah. White Boy Azonto. Yeah. So tell us about. That's when I first came across you. Like, so tell us about Bricka. Because Bricka is
Legends.
Bricka is the voice of a nation and the symbol of a people that are so part of this country, but
they don't get credit.
you know, they're an institution here. Do you get me? These Eastern European labourers that.
Yeah, we've done a lot. I mean, I see myself kind of as part of that. My family and my dad was a builder, so all the clothes I used to wear were my dad's, like the props were all my dad's as well.
The Tiskies.
It was all kind of like imitating what I was seeing around me. Was that stereotypical image of an Eastern European guy.
Yeah. So when did it become apparent to you that you wanted to make a satire of this, make this comedy related? Like what inspired you to go nah?
I mean, I was inspired by obviously Borat and Ali G and watching Lonely Island, YouTube coming about. You know, there was this video online platform that came around, and I was like, yo, you can put videos in this. That's so cool. And I just wanted to do something, and I took obviously a year out. I didn't get into uni because of that one mark, and I said I had some ideas, and I was like, yo man, Bricka, and it was inspired by Waka Flocka, the name.
Oh my god,
because I done Hard in the Paint, it was my first song, and obviously Hard in the Paint. It was very organic, man, it just kind of came to me. I was like, yo, Waka Flocka, Bricka, catchy, Hard in the Paint, do like a remix. And it just caught on, bruv, like, people just loved it. And I said, oh, this is dope. And then I just did a few more, did it kind of well.
Was it one of those ones where you put it up and went to bed and then you woke up and went, whoa?
A little bit.
Was it like that?
Yeah, Twitter was going mad. I was like, what the fuck? And for me, it was just like loads of people were fucking following me, contacting me from like, what's his name? Wiley and Morgan Keys and all these people that I kind of watch and look up to and sharing me, being on Grime daily. I was gassed as fuck.
Yeah. There's never going to be a time where Wiley shouting you is not amazing.
Nah, World Star, I've been on World Star like 6-7 times.
Yeah.
It was a mad time, man. It was a very, very weird time. It was very kind of viral, but obviously the internet has changed, man. And for me, it changed in a manner of I got kind of bored of doing that.
Yeah.
Because then I felt like I had to force it. I didn't really want to force it. I didn't know how to handle really the attention.
Where do you go from here? Yeah.
I was at uni as well.
Did you ever get any inquiries for bookings, like club appearances or live appearances?
I did a bit of live stuff. Yeah. I did a few shows and a few, I did that one stand up, and it was weird, man. I said yes to a lot of stuff, and.
Did you feel like it was against your will? Like you felt like, well, man's got to just go with the flow and capitalize when I can? Or?
I honestly didn't know. I didn't know. I was just doing what was happening.
Because I'm trying to think what we would, like what any normal young person would do when they're getting an inquiry that we would like to pay you to come and do something. Like, you know, people that are normally students are working.
A lot of the time it was unpaid though.
Is it?
It was like great exposure, great experience.
Yeah, they
those
like
keywords.
to pay you an exposure.
Yeah. I mean, I did it anyway. I didn't really know how to say no. It was just a learning. A lot of it was a learning curve and a learning experience.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just being creative. It was just about putting creative ideas into the universe.
Yeah. And I feel like touching on that, you said you weren't really feeling the whole viral vibe. It's quite interesting that you did that video and you became viral, and then there's another instance where you did nothing at all and you became absolutely viral. So if anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about,
it's gonna pop up in it, or the meme.
We'll pop it up.
If we all just do our rendition of it.
Yeah, the meme. It's this weird thing, right? Where like I've done so much shit on the internet, and it's just weird, bruv.
Like that is such a random CV to have. Like
I'm a meme.
Who got access to that photo?
I did. I put it up.
You put it up, yeah.
And I wrote, "This is how white people smile at you on the street."
Yeah.
Was that that was you originally?
Yeah, but I didn't put it up as a meme.
Okay,
lettering.
Yeah.
I put it up as a caption on Twitter.
Okay.
And I put it up on my Instagram. And then
that's the most accurate thing I've ever read in my life.
4 months later, I'm seeing this on World Star, and then someone's like, "Oh, it's on this and it's on that." I was like, what? What the fuck is going on?
And it goes through these phases, doesn't it? Where it lights up again and then it disappears and then it lights up again.
It's been around. I thought it would die. I was like, oh, cool, man. I was a meme for a month.
Nope.
It just keeps getting used.
That meme's gonna live longer than you, mate. I hope you know that. You know what I'm saying?
The meme of me as a kid smiling.
You know when the hologram social media comes a thing, there's gonna be like holograms of Vuj on that pub there.
That's what I'm saying. I don't even know how to really define it all. You kind of just don't know what's gonna happen internet-wise.
Do you remember taking that photo?
Vaguely. St Andrew, St Francis, Wilson, primary school.
Was someone
just popped up?
Was the camera guy just not engaging enough?
Just probably not. It made me smile. I didn't like smiling.
Okay.
And like
can
when
tell.
they're forcing you, so I just kind of did the whole like.
The maddest shit though I've seen you
mad.
do is your off-road, where you
I'm a live drawing.
you were live.
I've
You
done
had a
live
live drawing of yourself naked.
Yeah.
So when that gets thrown into your inbox on an email, we want you to do this. What part of your brain thinks, were you straight away like, yes, I'm
A little
definitely
bit,
doing this?
yeah,
Or were you a bit like, actually, this
I
is a bit-
nearly declined it,
Yeah.
and then I said, nah, I want to do this. I
Yeah.
really wanted to, and I even spoke about it to my ex or something. I was like, yo, I actually would love to get drawn naked, and then like 2 months later,
Yeah,
Off-Road contacted me and said, you want to get drawn naked and film it? I was like, yeah, fuck it. And it
Okay.
was sick.
So that's content did that go out
Yeah.
on YouTube and
Yeah,
stuff
it's
like
on
you can
YouTube.
see that now.
The views are good for that. Man.
It's done well, man.
Hopefully
It's like
a
a
lot
new
of girls
channel.
watch.
Did that have any kind of implications with the ladies? Like, did you get any DMs like, "Yo,
Nah.
man wants to draw you too"?
In a weird way, I don't think I put out that energy.
No,
So
okay.
it doesn't really the whole like female thing. Nah, not really, bro.
Right.
Nah. that's
How
fine,
are you with the
bro.
ladies, by the way? Just to like, you know,
Like, do you get stopped in the street?
have you got groupies?
I don't think so.
I got groupies in Toronto, bro, and what do? I don't even do anything, but
For real?
just any sort of attention you have on you, like someone presses the groupie button and then it just pops off.
It just doesn't really. I don't want to say it doesn't really interest me. I don't know. I can't say. I'm very picky when it comes to women, and because I'm so picky, I don't think the other side doesn't really entertain me that much.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all had periods where, you know, we're out here a little bit. So have I.
Out here a little bit. Vuj,
Got
2017.
a match somewhere.
My life has been based on hopeless romance, and I'm one of those relationship guys.
Say, man's 7 years deep, bro.
So,
Man's Arsene Wenger.
I've been single for the past 3-4 months for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's weird, bro.
Yeah.
I've just found it mad weird.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm more of a
I'm not
setter,
looking to be in a relationship soon, and I'm also not looking to have flings.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm just kind of like, yo.
But do you get stopped in the streets?
Yeah, man, people, you know, here and there, people take a photo or they recognize me for some work I've done. And I enjoy it. I mean, I've
Yeah.
never turned down a photo.
What's the strangest thing? What's the like or most random thing someone's recognized you for? Because normally, obviously, you know what to expect when you're getting stopped for something. You're like, okay, someone will probably recognize me for Copa, or someone will.
The most random thing, fuck. I think it's dope. I did like a documentary on the Serbian derby. Sometimes for that, not many people know I've done that. But an ultra from Crystal Palace stopped me once.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
This Crystal Palace guy stopped me. He's like, yo, da-da-da-da-da. I was like, yeah, man, da-da-da. That's what I've done. I've done a variety because my kind of portfolio online is so random. Fucking hell, fam.
Yeah, when you put these
Bruv.
three together, if you compile a list of things that you've done that have just even popped off, not even the things that maybe haven't popped off, just the things that have popped off, it's a very random list. And I don't know, is that symptomatic of, experiences interest you? So if there's a chance to experience something for the first time, does that
Yes.
grab your attention?
Definitely.
That you would love to do that?
Experiences definitely
Yeah,
interest me, 100%.
Because I can guarantee 90% of maybe people I know, if they got an email that said, you know, we'd like to draw you naked and film it, they'd just be like, oh, but I mean, then the 10% that actually do come across it and film it, you're probably like, well, you're like the only person I know ever that's ever been contacted and drawn naked.
I'm a little bit of an exhibitionist.
Okay,
Like, I do like being naked.
calm.
I really
Yeah.
do enjoy being naked.
Yeah.
You've got it.
Was it in front of an audience?
Yeah, there was people there drawing me, man. There was like
20
10,
people
20
drawing
people.
him.
I really enjoyed it, man. I thought it was an amazing experience.
So,
liberating.
so like, just break it down for us. Like, were they instructing you on how to pose, or was it just do your thing, Vuj?
Nah,
have
do
to
your
stay
thing.
still, bro.
It was sick. Yeah, you kind of have to stay still. Yeah, you have to stay still for like 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
then they do like another pose.
Yeah.
So they change the angle for the people drawing you, so it switches up.
Yeah.
It's sick.
Did they feed you after?
No, they don't feed you. They don't feed you. I do look quite skinny in that video. I could do with some food.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But
mad.
it's good, man. Nah, I fucking enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. No,
Yeah.
the portfolio kind of the variety of work is dope. It kind of just how I am as a brain, and maybe just a creative being, or just a human.
Yeah.
Is I take inspiration from a lot of things, and then it goes from the parodies and the music to the interviews and the conversations, and then I like talking to people, and then there's the experiences like getting naked documentaries, or in terms of the Serbian derby. It's just I like poetry recently, like spoken word.
Getting into spoken word, man.
Yeah, I've always liked writing, and then there's a lot that kind of goes up there to kind of just put it out.
Yeah. You say you like talking to people, and that kind of brings us nicely to the fact that I only just came across this, but talk to us about FIFA and Chill, because just back to Copa 90, obviously, because you've done so much work with them this year and the previous year as well. FIFA and Chill has become their flagship show. Like their go-to content
for interviews and conversations.
Yeah, that's the one. So how did that come about?
Well, basically, we were kind of, I think, we were entering our third year at Copa 90, and we needed another video format and show. And previously, we did have FIFA on the channel, but we didn't have it for a while. And I said, why don't we? And then we kind of sat in this little boardroom meeting, whatever, little small back room, and it was just kind of like, all right, what are we gonna do? And it just came into my head because Netflix and Chill as a meme and as a saying was so popular. I said, why don't we do FIFA and Chill? We'll wear like bathrobes, and then like we'll interview someone and we'll use the audience. Their questions will pop up. We'll ask them on Twitter, and then we'll play FIFA at the same time. And then Adidas done a shoot at Theo Walcott and said, do you want to kind of talk to him? And we pitched, the FIFA and Chill idea. And the guy there was brave enough to say, you know what, let's do it. Fuck it. And it went really well, man. It was sick. It was new, and then it's carried on.
So the Theo Walcott one is the first one. But so I've been watching FIFA and Chill since the beginning then.
Yeah, FIFA and Chill started with Theo Walcott.
And then Gary Lineker when was Gary Lineker?
He was in a little bit. There was Theo, then Stormzy.
Oh, okay, Stormzy was the second one, really?
He was the second one.
Okay, I saw the Gary Lineker one before the Stormzy one then. Right, okay, so I guess I was...
It kept going.
Yeah,
and then, like, eventually, we sometimes drop the FIFA, depending on how it's going. And like recently, then we'll just do a chill. We'll just call it a chill, like an interview. And that does kind of well. Then up with Lampard.
Yeah, because you stopped playing when you were...
Yeah, it didn't feel right. That's the beauty of kind of the shoot.
Is that because they're shit at FIFA and that makes them shit at an interview, or do you want them to be...
Focus. I think it's more focus.
Because I feel like when you've got certain players like Lampard's that hybrid player that even if he played for a team that you absolutely hate, you still looked at him and you were like, I really like Lampard. I really like him.
I loved what he said about Gerrard as well.
Of course you did, mate. Of course you did.
It's in the fact that when the question was asked who's better, he stood away from me. He was like, that's not for me to answer. Yeah. But he did say that Gerrard was the best player.
Well, it's because he knew that Vuj is a Liverpool player and a Liverpool fan, and obviously you can't ruin relationships.
Did he know that?
I think he did. I told him.
Because you were like, I've hated you.
Yeah, I told him I hated him. Yeah. It's wonderful.
I never hated him. I hated JT, bro.
Yeah, I hated Drogba. I hated
Drogba and JT.
I like Drogba.
Now I like him.
You like him. He scored against you like every time he played you, bro.
Alright, let's not get emotional into football again, bro. Otherwise, this is going to be another one of those episodes where I start cussing Liverpool and going overboard.
Why do you hate Liverpool so much? He hates Liverpool.
I feel like you man try and move to us like in a way that United, when they were moving to us, it was like, chook, they've moved to us, we can't do anything about it. Chelsea, bang in the face, and we're getting bullied and stuff. But then you man, it's like you man are trying to move to us, but you man are the man being moved to. Like, so you can't move to us. I always feel that about Liverpool.
The last few
when you man lost to Tottenham, I hate Tottenham, but I felt like stay in your place, lads. Stay in your place, fucking Firmino, you shit player.
You know how we lost to Spurs this year, we lost to City heavily. If you go back for the last 5-6 years, Liverpool haven't really had a big loss like that. Where I'm not.
But you're not winning any. But
you lot.
But you're not winning any trophies.
You get beat 4-5-0.
Man gets beat 6-0 against Chelsea and then wins the FA Cup 3 years in 4.
Cool, that's cool. But for us, but losing 5-1 at City, losing 4-1 at Tottenham is an anomaly for us. Like, we don't actually lose big games like that. We're sick in big games and shit in little.
Yeah, so big games are your trophies now. That's what Liverpool are at.
Basically.
Man's getting gassed.
Well, we're not great.
Man's getting gassed. All right, but what I want to ask is, now that you work for Copa 90, so you work with Copa 90, you interview legends of the game. I'm not talking you interview Andre Voronin, fam. Big up Andre Voronin, though.
I wouldn't mind talking to Andre Voronin.
Big up you. But you, I'm talking, you made me think I could play Premier League football. Yeah. So, how does that, do you still support Liverpool like you did when you weren't doing this? Do you get upset when they lose?
Here and there, yeah. I mean, it depends, man. There's a lot of stuff changes in life in 6 years and your kind of maybe, not say passion, but you change your approach to certain things, you know. And no, Liverpool always going to be one of my loves, man. Like I do love that club and people and place.
Yeah.
So it's important to me.
parking
And I want
No,
success
mate.
for us, man. So when you know what it's capable of, but you also realise, you know, how football is run, and you see the behind the scenes a little bit, and you realise it's all very important, and the people are important, and it takes time to adapt, and you know, key players leaving is always going to affect the club, and you get more of an insight when you work within football. So I feel you become a bit less
Emotionally attached.
emotionally attached because you see the dynamics of how everything is in the game.
Yeah.
So you're more more knowledgeable as a fan than you were before you were doing this stuff. So
Yeah,
you actually
100%.
feel like,
Yeah, before it was just kind
I'm
of
not going to cry if Robbie Fowler goes to Leeds. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Whereas I did that.
Yeah, you're more reactive, innit, as a fan. Like you react more emotionally.
Yeah.
I feel like when you work in football,
It's just work.
it's kind of it's work and it's experience.
Because I like to think you can still maintain your absolute passion like for football and get angry at decisions and go, this was a sick goal, that was a sick goal. But it's just more of it's interesting from that perspective because you're an actual fan. It's not like, oh, I want to be a TV presenter one day. You're an actual fan, and all of a sudden you are working in football, and kind of you can I think you could pretty much say you're a sought after name within kind of football in the YouTube capacity for the young people. You are that now.
Bro,
So
I'm not just saying it because he's here, but number one, like
Thank you.
it's number
Appreciate
one.
that. I'm glad you guys
It's
enjoy
number
it.
one. Like,
Appreciate
come
that.
on, let's be real.
Nah,
And that-
it's dope.
and talk to us about I'm just gonna park here for a second. Talk to us about LFC TV as well, because that brings us on very nicely. So you're working for your dream club, yeah? So this is your club, you support them, you watch them. I remember you were like, has anyone got tickets for Palace away? And you're there
Used to always
watching
tweet that.
Liverpool and
Yeah.
stuff like that. You loved that.
Anyone got spares?
Yeah. And
Spares,
then
lads.
and then it's just
Fine,
one of
challenge.
it's just one of those ones where like what first of all, how did that come about for the camera?
I did a shoot with Liverpool with Poet, 5-shot challenge.
Yeah.
Gerrard, basically, it's mad. That's one of those things. Like Steven Gerrard took shots at me this year.
Yeah.
What was the night when you
Oh, the Legends charity thing. Is it?
Yeah.
Didn't he top bin you?
No, it's just his. I've never felt intimidated before.
Yeah.
That intimidated of someone taking a shot against me.
When he took that
He
he took that touch before he banged it, and I just felt like, rah, please don't like bang Vuj in the face.
Gerrard's power.
No, it's insane.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It is like a gun. I didn't even want to save it.
Yeah, no,
Kinda wanna
because
move
you
out of
know,
the way.
in a way, getting top binned by Gerrard is better than saving it. You know what I'm saying?
It is beautiful. His right foot is from another planet, man.
I think if you saved it, you would have been disappointed in yourself.
Maybe a little bit. I
Man-
saved the 1-on-1, so that was
Yeah, you did. You
tried
did
to go
that
through my legs. And then we played at Wembley as well this year, which was amazing. in
for the
front of
EE
Cup.
Yeah.
30,000 people.
Big up Spencer and
With
all
Gerrard
them.
on my
That's it.
team. Oh, yeah, I'm saying, man. You know what's kind of weird for me, right? Is like obviously where I've come from, etc. And then ticking off all your bucket lists. Like when I went to Brazil, massive bucket list. When I came to this country when I was like 5 or 6. 1998, I remember I was a big Brazil fan when Ronaldo lost that World Cup, and I had the full
1998,
kit.
yeah.
You know, we didn't have a lot of money. My mum managed to like get me the boots, the Ronaldo boots, my first boots. I was so tied to Brazil for some reason, right? Cried a lot when they lost the World Cup in '98, and then 2014, I'm in Brazil
For the World Cup.
the World Cup, and I remember like having this moment of going up to the top of the hotel we were staying at, and like,
Just taking it in.
I mean, I've covered crying, but that once again brought tears to my eyes. Of like,
But what am I doing here?
yeah, and you see like the
crazy.
sea in front of you, and then on the left is these beautiful mountains. On the right is favelas. And I think '98, I was crying in a little bedroom, 1-basement flat of like, Brazil losing, and now I'm like in Brazil.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of these boxes that I really wanted to do and tick in terms of my life and football, they've been ticked, man. I really can't complain. I'm very grateful for all the opportunities.
Do you know what, Dan?
Yeah.
Us, me, you, and JS need to go. So should we just leave Vuj here right now, and then you can walk.
That's actually calm.
I hope that's okay. We've actually just got to.
Just
I've
quickly.
got to go see my missus and that.
Yeah.
So
Is that how
just
you
stay
say
here.
end the interview?
no, we're genuinely going. You feel like
Just stay for
we have different whips every day, B. You know what I'm saying? But thank you so much, Vuj,
you.
man. I really appreciate the
that.
time. You're an absolute legend.
Anytime. I appreciate
And
Thanks, man.
thank you, bro. But I'll give you a shout anyway. Yeah.
Say nothing.
I'll shout you. Safe, bro.
I still got my medicine when I shoot my gun at the range. That's a banger. Have a nice. Thank you for watching.
Have a nice.
I like that. That's a good way to end an interview. She.